Okay, just checking we're going live, and I have a suspicion my audio isn't as good as it could be, but never mind. Let's plough on with, move some things around. What's that? New options have appeared, how exciting. Let me just pop a message in for everyone. I can type, that would have been brilliant. So I have sneaking suspicion the audio is not as great as it could be, but it's really difficult for me to plough on, so I'm just going to crack on. So snail porridge, a recipe of Heston Blumenthal's. If you've seen the title, it's probably his most famous recipe. People say, well, first thing that comes to mind when you say Heston Blumenthal, you think snail porridge. Comes up all the time. I'm going to adjust that camera a little bit. So I'm trying to work with weird layout here. There we go, that's better. A weird setup here. Got that focused on the pans, and this camera facing here. So we'll see what happens. We fetch the recipe. So there's a version in the Big Fat Duck Cookbook, Fat Duck Cookbook, which I've got a version of here, which was printed out to me a very long time ago. It's really long and detailed, like all the Fat Duck Cookbook recipes are. Endless stages. I mean, 6 elements you need to get right, and one of them is making a walnut vinaigrette, one of them is making duck ham. No thanks. But he has a more basic version. He published it many, many years ago in The Guardian, back when he was starting out, and I've condensed it here to make life a bit easier. We've got 3 components. We've got a stock, we've got a butter, and we've got the porridge itself. I'm going to get the stock on, because you should leave that a little while, really, but I'm just going to do it on the quick. So, this is some chicken wings. What is that back here? 750. So I sort of adapted the recipe according to what I want to do. It's going to be about that much. So we're making a stock to braise our snails in. More on the snails themselves in a minute. Get that started. Water to cover. And now we add the snails to this to make a snail stock. Just going to check if they come out on camera. Up there. Here's my little snail dudes. I tried for weeks to get these. I mean, you can get them. I spent an absolute fortune on them, but I didn't want to spend a fortune. It's like snails, they're absolutely fine. They're no different to me from, I don't know. They're no different to me from like cockles or mussels or other shellfish. We just don't know where they come from, so we have to dig these out of their little home. So these guys also come with a garlic butter, so I'm going to save that for later. Just doing a small portion here for me. What's that? going to keep that garlicky butter back for later. I'm going to add it to the actual butter we're going to make shortly. Because why not? So yeah, I've searched and searched. Probably the best place I can go, the more I thought about it, was an Asian grocer's, but there really isn't one very near to me. So, didn't have many options. That's what I went for. So, snails, chicken wings are in there. Now I'm going to add some other bits and pieces. I've got my recipe down here, so I keep looking down here. Some thyme. And what I wouldn't usually cut here. It's not going to be on camera if I do. So I'm just going to slice up an onion. So we're just making a regular stock here. You know, it could be anything. It just so happens to have some snails in it. In it goes. We're going to use a bit of fennel. Heston loves fennel. There's very few recipes. It doesn't put some aniseed flavour in, whether it's celery or fennel, star anise. Bit of garlic, using that later. Chuck that in as well. A small handful of mushrooms. Yeah. Give that a little stir. Get that out of the way. So my stock is started. Wrong lid. Excellent. Now I'm going to start on the snail butter. Now it's called snail butter. Though as he said, it doesn't need to be served with the porridge. It's just something nice to serve with it. And I'm going to incorporate this. Incorporate this snail butter with it that came with them. I'm going to throw it on the floor. Oh. I think I'm going to save that. That'll make the photo really fun. Okay, so a bit of fine chopping going on, and there's a fair bit of it. And rather than chop loads of it by hand, I'm going to pass it all through my food processor, just because it's going to make life easier. There's quite a bit of chopping to do, which I don't have a problem with. But for dinner sometime, right? Well, if you're wondering about proportions, ratios, weights for any of this, I'm going to type this up later. I've got it all. I'll upload it and put it in the description in the next couple of days. I'm going to garlic them. Mushrooms, fennel. I don't think I need a lot. Oh no, fennel doesn't come in here. Nearly wrecked that. I'm going to make a small amount of butter in here. Give that over a gentle heat. Okay, you can see that. Lovely, 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 lovely. Let's get some butter. While that's melting, I'm going to chop everything else up. Kitchen with Pro, where you just set it, you can see that, where you just set it underneath the side if you want. I'm going to go for 2mm. I was going just over here on the other counter because I can't fit everything here. I could put it over there. Oh, that would be more special. I can at least stay on camera then. Okay, let's do that. Here we go. Can we make a little noise? Done. Is that done? Turn the stock down a bit. I think I need a bit more heat under that butter. Going in the pan now. Little odds and ends, and actually it's going to come back in here once it's sweated down for a further bit of processing later on. So we've got the butter we're making here, we've got the stock. Beyond that, it's not a really long recipe, it's not a very difficult recipe at all. I say this about a lot of Heston recipes, a lot of them aren't difficult, they just take a little while. Right, what next? We've got other things that are going to go into the food processor, but we're going to change up. Put some of this in the bowl. Look at my desk set in the rain. There we go. Right, now for the meaty blade. Going right in there. I mean, onions, mushrooms and garlic. We're already onto a winner, right? Put a few things in here. Need to break all that up in a minute. Look at the Dijon mustard. I've got it here somewhere. No, I have it. Lots of water coming out of these. Okay, now I've got my temperature, I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because I just want them softened. I'm not looking to caramelise anything here. Just soften that, so. Right, a few more ingredients. The recipe actually calls for Parma ham, but I felt like Serrano today. Oh. Use this both in the butter, and we're going to use it in the finished dish as well. We need some salt in there. Stock is bubbling away furiously. So my snails are already cooked, and Heston says even if your snails are already cooked, cook them through in this stock. And they'll be even better. You've pushed even more flavour into them. My little blobs of snail butter over here. And of course, a nice big chunk of butter to make the extra butter. loads of great ingredients in there, loads of really tasty things. Now, let's have a look at these bad boys. They are just starting to colour now, but we've taken the harshness out of them, we've taken the crunch out of them. So that'll do me just fine. Now I'm going to save this pan for later without washing up final assembly. Well, I'm going to use that, there will be noise. Yes, I do. I suppose most down there is the mustard. Really? Nice. If you've not seen my Kitchen Whiz Pro before, it's a fantastic food processor. I've got a review of it, you can find it on my site somewhere. Take the blade out of there. I've owned this for 10 years. It's superb. Right. That's what we've ended up with. We've just got 10 grains you can feel. Now, really good butter. Actually, me disturbing it, there's a few things in there that need breaking up a bit more. So I'm going to whiz it again. That's more like it. Right, let's get that onto some cling film. It's so weird working over here. I usually work over there, so I don't have my surfaces to put everything on. Never mind, I'll get some. I'll lay out some plastic film. I think the heat from frying the mushrooms and the garlic has carried over. Probably should have cooled them quickly on a plate first, but there you go. I really should taste this, I guess, because if this tastes awful, then I'm going to ruin the whole dish. Over there for washing up later. That's garlicky, it's herby, yeah, really tasty. So I'm just going to roll this up now, freeze it while I finish everything else, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be set when I come to set it. And if not, well, still a bunch of flavour, isn't it? So let me pop this in the freezer. Excellent. So our stock is coming along. I'm looking for something to stir. Oh, I'm all over the place. Just going to push everything around. I mean, it's stock. It's doing stocky things, right? So our stock is ongoing. Our butter's done. Heston does actually ask you to push that through a fine sieve, that butter, and you get all the impurities out, but I really like that, so I've gone with it. So what I'm going to do now is get things ready for assembling the final dish, because we've got a stock on the go, our snails are in there, and the remainder, they were already cooked when I got them, so they're just going to be heated up. Yeah, so I've got a few other ingredients. I'm going to roll my sleeves up because it's getting serious. I don't know where you are. Here in the UK, it's absolutely freezing wet today. Places in the country being suffering from really bad weather, so hope you're all okay out there. It's not too bad down here in the southeast or east of England. It is very wet, and I thought it was really cold, but it's okay now. Right. Let's get another piece of our hair. I'm going to try a little piece of this. I hope it's alright. Oh, it's good. It's really good. Just going to cover over like that because I've already got things sorted. Right, so let's get all this stuff going. Getting this serving bowl ready. There's ingredients which I'm going to prepare for final dressing. So, get my hand, and I'm just going to roll it. Just finely slicing. That's all I'm doing. Just going to put that to one side, and that's effectively a garnish for the finished dish. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Slice the fennel as thinly as possible. Now, if I was smart, I would have done that first on the old kitchen whiz, but I've done it now. I think I'm going to go down the middle. So the fennel's raw, just gets tossed in a salad at the end. And it's really interesting that this is called, well, this is snail porridge, and the snail gets all the attention. But we've got garlic, we've got ham, we've got fennel, we've got mustard, you know. It's as if we're trying to mask the flavour of it as much as possible. For some reason, I'm not using my best knife. I don't know. I don't know why. Helpfully, Heston's recipe is for 6 people. I'm literally serving it for just me. So it's quite hard to scale down one fennel bulb because it's going to be a garnish, right? It's going to be a garnish that just sits on the porridge. So let's move that to one side. And use a celery stick. It's gone past its best, it's a little wobbly, so it's a bit late. But I'm going to chuck it in now anyway. I'm going to use it in a minute. Just have a quick tidy up. Check what with the fennels in. Oh, very aniseedy. Very aniseedy. It's a good one. Well, if you like aniseed, you hate aniseed, terrible one. Terrible. Alright, let's see what we'll do next. So I think now we're making the porridge. And often the porridge is, let's just clean up first. The porridge is obviously simmered in milk or water. I'm going to toss it in our stock here. So let me get a ladle. It's so weird. Again, nothing being in the right place. I'm just going to weigh out my cakes. This was another thing really hard to scale down. So I think I'm gonna overdo it and drop loads on the floor as well. So it's a good idea. Okay, just gonna go back to the stock. I would also work really well in a pressure cooker. Stocks generally do. I don't have one. I never had one. I've meant to get one for a long time. Right, let's get ourselves some stock. I mean, look at the colour of it. It's so many things in there. Now, fortunately, my ladle was about 50 grams ago, so there's a good chance all my ratios are wrong here. So while we wait for that, let's rescue the Snail brothers. I've got 6 in there somewhere. What? 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bad boys. Hard to show you that. There we go. All simmered. No smell whatsoever. Nothing. Okay, they're rescued. I'm adding my oats, and this is a bit like making a risotto now. Kind of, I guess. Not my spatula, I'll reuse that. It will shock you to learn I've never cooked porridge this way. Not quite now. What I'm waiting for. I might need to add a little bit more stock. I might not. There's no mention of timings on this part of the recipe. I'm expecting, it just says once the liquid's gone, once the liquid's absorbed, you're basically done. It's an assembly job after that. Which is coming up now actually. I've changed my mind on my presentation bowl, so I'm going to take it off the heat now. I'll try a little bit. Just got no idea. Well, wow, that softened really quickly. Very nice. Needs pepper. It needs the brightness, but we're going to add this vinaigrette, this lemon, this fennel vinaigrette shortly. I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. A touch of salt. Again, we're going to add butter into this. Right, let's add in some walnut oil now to my fennel. Sherry vinegar. It's brand new, so I have to tease it out. Hey. It's just me eating it, so anybody worrying about cross-contamination or me reusing a spoon I've already used, well, it's just me eating it, so fine. Right, now stir in some butter. Well, our butter's not set, obviously, it was only about 15 minutes. But it has firmed up. So, don't know how much butter to add. 10 grams, that much. Just get that out of the way. It's got loads of seasoning in. Right, that's done. Please don't think I usually work like this. Putting the serving plate on top of the very same hob I've worked on. Just going to spread that porridge out. I've remembered it right. I think Heston got the idea for this when one of his chefs came back from a honeymoon and had a strange congee rice dish that sounded a bit odd, but then he thought about it and thought, well, it's just because I'm not used to it. And then he just started playing with the idea of grains, and I think it was an eel congee. I might be wrong about that. Put our little dudes in. Move them around a little bit because they're all in one place. A bit of our ham. Like that, I think. Right, don't like that. Trying to get the tweezers out, finish it properly. And a lot of our fennel salad, and just make a little pile in the middle. Excellent, just for that. And it would be madness not to use these shells. Surely, they're not edible, to be clear, but why wouldn't you use them as decoration? Why wouldn't you? Okay, finished dish. Snail porridge. Oh, just like this, I try and tilt it for camera. And I guess all that remains for now is to in and try it. Onions. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to get a little bit of porridge first. Here we go. Does anybody like it? That's the porridge flavoured with the butter, which is great, you know, before we do anything else. Porridge cooked in stock and then run through butter. That's a great idea. That's a typical Heston fusion, that. Taking loads of things you think you know and then putting them together. But all I'm doing really is I'm putting off trying the snail. I don't have a problem with snails, by the way. I can't say I've eaten them for a long time. I think I ate them maybe when I was in Belgium about 30 years ago. A bit of ham. Oh yeah. So the ham's got all that deep savouriness. The fennel's all bright. Okay, we'll put it off now. Long enough. Let's have some snail. And you know what? They're just fine. They're just there. It could be anything. They're not adding loads of flavour by themselves. Let's get absolutely everything on the plate at once. Yeah, really nice porridge. Powerful salty ham cutting through the blandness. Then that punchy fennel, full of zing with the vinaigrette, but as well as, you know, fennel just being fennel as well. Yeah. Yeah, the snails are fine. No. Do they rock my world? I want to try them again? Not really. It's not a problem with them. They're just a texture. They're just like cockles or mussels, you know? And I live really close to some cockle sheds. I'd happily sit there and have some of those. Well, there we go. I don't you want to watch me eat the rest of this. but that'll do for now. Well, thank you for joining me on that live stream as I cook Heston Blumenthal snail porridge for the very first time. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop me a comment if you enjoyed that, or if you think it's the worst thing you've ever seen. Thanks very much. Have a good evening. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.